Hello and welcome to Matchday Live here on Foxes Hub this Saturday afternoon, and the Foxes are on the road again and they're in London to face QPR, where they'll be hoping to extend their lead at the top of the championship and extend this record-breaking start to a championship season. Without further ado, let's get all of today's team news for the game at Loftus Road. And Enzo Maresca, he's not one to be afraid of making changes. He makes 3 this afternoon to the side, of course, that beat Sunderland in the week. 2 of those come in the back 4 as Ricardo and Fast drop to the bench, with Cody and Chowdhury coming in to replace them. And the other one is at the top of the pitch as Jamie Vardy returns to the starting 11 in place of Kelechi Iheanacho. So here's the Leicester City squad then in full. It's Hermansen in goal, Justin, Vestergaard, Cody and Chowdhury. Either Chowdhury or Justin will play either one of those sides, won't they? Left back or right back, Chowdhury will be the one to go into midfield alongside Harry Winks, Dewsbury Hall and Cesare Casadei, who retains his spot in the starting 11. Still no Wilfred Ndidi today. Mavididi and Fatu are either side of Jamie Vardy. There's a return to the bench for Casey McAteer, who's missed a number of games through injury, so great to see him back. Also on the bench, it's Jakub Stolasic, Fass, Albrighton, Iheanacho, Sutar, Daka, Ricardo and Marçal. From a QPR point of view, it is fair to say that Gareth Ainsworth is under a little bit of pressure. The Owls have only won 1 home game in the whole of 2023. They make 2 changes to the side that lost 1-0 in the week at West Brom without having a shot on target in that 90 minutes. Charlie Kelman and Albert Adoma come in for Jimmy Dunn, who was sent off in the week, as well as Clark Slater. This is their team then in full. It's Begovic in goal, Parle, Field and Kakai across the back 3, with Adoma and Cannon as the 2 wing-backs, Dazelle and Colback in midfield, Elias Chair on the left, Charlie Kelman on the right. In behind, Scotland number 9, Lyndon Dykes. That is it then for the team news. Let's introduce you to today's guests. It's Jerry Taggart and Matt Elliott. Not often you both sat here during an away game, which is good to see. Tony Cottee is on co-commentary duty for us at Loftus Road. We'll speak to him in about half an hour or so. But yes, welcome along. Good afternoon to the pair of you. As I said, very rarely together.
It's a rarity, although we've spent many an hour together on the settee, haven't we, away from the working environment, one way or another. But yeah, perhaps we won't go there. But nice change, Jerry.
Yeah, absolutely. I see you've missed another one that's got away. Another trip you've missed out on. TC's had to bear the brunt of it today for you.
Does me a few favours, TC. Good lad, good lad. Keep it going.
And you've been away, of course, haven't you? Was it Thailand and Vietnam this week?
Nice little trip there. Yeah, working stroke pleasure. Vacation, a trip, shall we say? But yeah. What a country. I'm in Thailand. I've been before, been lucky enough before. We went pre-season trip, didn't we, with a club, etc. Vietnam was beautiful as well, so very fortunate, but I'm happiest here.
Absolutely. Sat next to Jerry Taggart. Why wouldn't you be? And you've been picking up Matt's slack, haven't you, doing the media stuff, Jerry, while he's been away?
I had a bit of a slog to Swansea last week, where Matt would normally have travelled to. But fairly enjoyed the game that day. And another emphatic win, followed up on Tuesday night, of course.
Absolutely. Coming up on Matchday Live this afternoon as we build up to kick off, we've got plenty to talk about, really. We'll of course look back on the game on Wednesday evening against Sunderland. James Justin with the only goal of the game, somewhat surprisingly only a goal in that. We'll talk about that in just a moment. We'll hear from manager, of course, Enzo Maresca, previewing this trip to QPR. Says it'll be a tough game and a perfect one for the home side, as well as looking at Gareth Ainsworth and his QPR side, who, as we said, it's fair to say, are struggling, and he is under pressure at QPR, who are second bottom at the moment. Before we do any of that, though, we need to take a look back on yesterday. Of course, it marked 5 years since the tragic passing of Kun Vishai Siwatana Prapar and 4 others in an accident here at King Power Stadium. Yesterday morning, Jerry Taggart was in attendance at a private ceremony that was staged in the Vishai Siwatana Prapar Memorial Garden. That was the ceremony there at the Vishai Siwatana Papa Memorial Garden, led of course by Buddhist monks. The LCFC men and women teams were there, a number of representatives as well, including you, Jerry, as we've referenced. And talk us through it again. You've been to a number of those types of ceremonies now.
I mean, it was beautifully set, beautifully run. The chanting from the monks is, you know, mesmerising somewhat. You sort of just get lost in the chanting. So yeah, it was a really well-run morning. It was thankfully the weather held out as well, even though we were under cover. The players and the staff laid flowers afterwards, and we all paid our respects. So yeah, it was a lovely morning.
Paying your respects, of course, to all five that tragically died this evening, especially Kun Vishai, who you both had the pleasure of meeting during your time here.
Yeah, absolutely. All five were remembered. Eric Swaffer, is it? The pilot, his mother was there, and his best friend was there as well. So I had a good chat with both of them during and after the ceremony. But obviously, you know, the key aspect of that morning was, you know, remembering Kun Vishai.
Of course, as we said, Matt, you've met him a number of times, and it can't be stated really what he's done for this football club, not just the football club, but the whole of Leicestershire.
No, it seems like, you know, Vishai led an incredible life you know, before Leicester City as well, but you know, obviously that's where his sort of wider recognition comes from. But there's many a story before Leicester City even, I'm sure, and I was just one of many who were fortunate to come across Kun Vishai. You know, worked for him in a roundabout way in different capacities over the years, and have been influenced massively by him, as have many other people in and around Leicester, in various parts of the world, really. So yeah, a very special individual really. So you know, enough's been said about him already, but it will continue to be repeated many times through the years. Yeah,
there's a really good line in the article on lcfc.com underlining what happened during the ceremony. It just says that it's a chairman whose vision had transformed a football club, built pride in togetherness among our communities, and redefined people's beliefs in what's possible.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's important to remember that he used the football club as the centre of the community, but I'm from the football club reached out to everybody in the Leicestershire community, which is massively important, and that still continues today, and will continue for, you know, as long as, you know, these owners are in charge of the football club. And I think that's important for everyone to remember, that, you know, his legacy carries on. He is not forgotten. He will never be forgotten. And, you know, the football club itself, the owners of the football club, use the platform that they have to spread into the communities and do good things.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it needs that particular sort of commendation, really, that excuse me, that someone from not even these shores, let alone this area, was able to come in and bring that sort of feel about things, you know, into the community, into the city, the area as a whole, emanating, as Jerry says, you know, via the football club. But yeah, to bring and to show what was possible. I mean, it's written on his statue, and you know, what better legacy to leave, really, like the possible man. And it was true. It was true, wasn't it? You know, he showed that anything is in people's capabilities, and a massive inspiration going forward.
Yeah, and that legacy very much being continued, of course, by Kuntop, not least even this afternoon. That there's a free scarf for every single Leicester fan travelling down to Loftus Road today to commemorate that 5 years. As well as that, to mark this occasion, a special documentary called A Legacy for Kun Vishai, exploring obviously the immense impact that Kun Vishai had on this football club and on the community, has been released on Fox's Hub. Here's a little snippet of that now.
What he's done for the community and the hospitals and the charities, you know, really sums up his character.
Did they have to do it? No. But that just shows what type of people they are. It was the fact that they wanted to.
I suppose he had his dreams himself, and he worked hard to achieve them, and that's exactly what he did.
The moment every Leicester City supporter has been looking forward to. If I could ask the captain, the manager, the vice chairman and the chairman to gather around the trophy.
Them always getting across that it didn't matter what it was, that anything was actually possible.
We rebury a king, king power, and then what happens? The football club win the Premiership. And it was a great story that brought a huge smile to many people's faces.
The day that they came through them gates at Beaver Drive was the day our club changed massively for the better.
The ethos of Kunvishai, the giving nature, the generosity that pervades the whole club, thanks to his leadership, is absolutely incredible. Kunvishai should be remembered as one of the favourite sons of Leicester.
You know, it was run with a lot of love, a lot of care. I've never experienced a club so interconnected as Leicester. A club that was very, very united, a club that is like a family.
It was about the glory, it was about community, it was about the fans feeling the pride in their city, in their club, in their team, and he absolutely brought that in.
His legacy will live on forever, and no one will ever be able to take that away, and rightly so as well.
Yes, a legacy for Kunvishai special documentary available for you to watch now. It's just over half an hour, well worth the watch, as we saw there. Obviously, Wes Morgan's in it, Kasper Schmeichel, Jamie Vardy, Mark Albrighton, the Birch, Henry Winter, the journalist as well. It looks like obviously a great watch and a great tribute.
Yeah, it's excellent, didn't it? Yeah, beautifully put together, very poignant memories and reflections, and unsurprisingly so, though, all about a very unique an influential individual, wasn't he? And just you could tell there, the emotion still now remains in the people who are playing their part in that documentary. There, it's it's still, like I say, it's still got massive influence on people now. And I still find myself, I nod to his picture that is down in reception as a mark of respect pretty much every time I walk past him. And I wasn't particularly close with Kunvishai. I was the pleasure of meeting him numerous occasions, and always friendly and welcoming and saying hello. But how he was to me was how he was to everyone, pretty much. And lots of special memories, but still a tinge, or more than a tinge, of sadness about what happened. But the memory goes on.
Yeah, I think it's important. If people watching the programme that's been put together, and you try and break down and analyse what Kunvishai actually did for, the football club and the wider community, and also, like, did he need to, take this on, and did he need to do this? I think his faith plays a large part in one of the reasons why he did. He took on the football club and then spread it into the community, and spread the his wealth into the community. It's just an amazing guy, an amazing family.
Absolutely, great words from you both, of course. That documentary available for you, of course, for free on Foxes. Of over £4 million he's donated to local causes in and around Leicestershire, and Cuntop, obviously continuing to do that. Right, let's concentrate then on matters on the field at the moment. Then Kunvishai certainly would be proud of the start that Leicester City have made at the start of this season. On Tuesday night against Sunderland, Enzo Maresca's side made it 12 wins out of 13 at the start of this season.
It's Hume playing the ball into the penalty area. There's danger here. Clark with the effort. It's beaten away. Hermanson relieved that the ball didn't find the back of the net. Dewsbury Hall, left-footed of course, an outswinger and into the back of the net. 1-0. James Justin gets his first goal of the season, totally unmarked. Leicester have got it back just outside the penalty area. Here is Mavadini onto the left foot. Oh, it's hit the post. Well, the goalkeeper, I think, got something on it, ricocheted onto the post. Bellingham gets it out to Jack Clark. orange boots on, running into the penalty area. He'll try and get the shot away, he will! And Hermansen, well, he got something on it and it's cleared behind for a corner. The danger there was a deflection and Hermansen would have been wrong-footed. As it was, he just shoveled it away from him. 10-15 yards inside the Leicester half, just plays it up and it's knocked down and the post is rattled by Iheanacho. Well, it should have been 2-0. Kelechi Iheanacho struck it well. Mabadidi puts it into the area looking for Iheanacho, and a shot will come in from Cassidy. Brilliant save by the goalkeeper once more. It's a one-man effort from Patterson to stop Leicester City. Harry Winks, right-hand side, plays the ball into the penalty area, and Cassidy's there once more. And guess what? He's saved again. Anthony Patterson having the game of his life. Jack Clark. And still going Clark, and it might come from Pritchard, and bar! Oh, over! Great opportunity for the substitutes. Pritchard and Clark involved. Leicester was scrambling, and the whistle goes. And Leicester City win again.
Well, it was another 3 points, of course, for Enzo Maresca. He's getting used to picking those up, Jerry, isn't he? 12 out of 13 at the start of this championship season.
Yeah, a really good result. And what I have to say was probably, was a really good game. The best game I've seen here at King Power, I have to say. I thought I was really impressed with Sunderland. They had their chances. We've seen it before this season where Leicester have conceded chances, but the opposition unable to take it. It was a bit like that the other night. But in fairness to Leicester, they had umpteen chances themselves, which they couldn't take. And an unlikely hero in James Justin, direct from a corner with a proper bullet header and a fantastic leap as well. So yeah, really hard fought 3 points on Tuesday night, and that'll please Enzo Maresca coming through that, because Sunderland are the first team this season that have come and played on the front foot, played a high press, showed. I'm not saying they didn't show any respect for Leicester, but we're more concerned about how they were going to play rather than how Leicester were going to play. And Leicester to come out on top after that, that'll give Enzo Maresca real satisfaction.
Always helps to get an early goal in a game, particularly now with the way that Leicester play.
Yeah, you would think so, theoretically, yeah. Quite a number of times, Leicester have left it quite late, haven't they, to actually get on the score sheet. But certainly scoring late in games to finish matches off. But Jerry sort of mentioned it there. Really, you're not going to win the game in the same way, in the same manner, playing the same sort of football week in, week out. You get that they always say about the term, finding a way, and Leicester are doing that continuously, aren't they? More often than not. Yes, they're playing good football, but it's not always going to be smooth running, is it? And they're going to come up against different sort of propositions, challenges, and I think probably Maresca would be quite happy. One, as Jerry says, Sunderland coming at them, and it was a bit of a test. Other teams might look at that and go, oh, okay, maybe we're better off, putting our wits against them, against Leicester, rather than just waiting for them to eventually score. And if it's open like that, then I think over time that will suit Leicester even more than most teams. If teams come and play, get encouraged by that Sunderland performance.
I think as well, on top of what going on the back what Matt's just mentioned, scoring a goal direct from a corner, vitally important. The defensive side of the defensive players getting involved. Last week it was Vestergaard.
Is that what champions do?
Absolutely. So in a tough game like that, Matt mentioned about finding a way to win, and it was direct from a corner. And I say last week Vestergaard got Leicester back into the game from the second phase of a set piece, bundling the ball across the line. So these are vitally important aspects of a game of football, not just the playing, through the thirds and opening teams up, which is great to watch, but sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes you need a set piece to get yourself over the line. So vitally important that the defenders when having attacking set piece, get involved in the goal scoring, and so big moments in the game for Leicester there.
Yeah, there were very much chances for both teams, weren't there, in the game, Jerry? Their keeper made a number of great saves. Leicester hit the post twice as well.
It's a great save. The one from Kelechi Iheanacho. Kelechi Iheanacho has done absolutely everything right there. And the keeper fingertips, that was shown the one onto the post, but the one where he's hit it and it's back across goal and he's fingertipped it onto the post. I mean, that was a quality save. And to be fair, there was a couple of chances that Sunderland had, and Hermanson I thought was that this is the one. He's done everything right there.
You can't even tell he's saved it, can you?
No,
live.
It's an unbelievable save. So you have to take your hat off to the keeper. Hermanson as well. When Leicester conceded a couple of times, he makes a couple of great saves, and you don't really see it because he doesn't move. But he's just shown maturity beyond his years there, Hermanson, by not moving, not panicking, not trying to guess where the ball is going to go, and standing up, being strong, and getting a strong arm to push it away. So both keepers played their part on the night.
Yeah, I mean, particularly the Hermanson save from Jack Clark that Jerry's referencing, we can see that in just a moment, was vital actually at 0-0.
Here we go. Look at the way he just stands strong, doesn't panic. He knows Clark has just got a certain angle or a certain window to put the ball in, but he does. That's a great piece of mature goal kick for someone so young.
Yeah, and cover on the line as well, which Hermanson's aware of there as well. It would have happened too quick to actually get a shout, but I think is it Justin who went behind, wasn't it, who covered that? So Hermanson's thinking, right, he's got that covered, I'll just hold my position, and eventually made the save. But that's a decent save there with the slight deflection as it comes through. But yeah, Sunderland took it to Leicester a little bit. It just keeps going Leicester's way as well, doesn't it? I mean, sometimes you sort of questioning yourself. You're sort of thinking, are they playing as well as the results suggest? But at times you think yes, because they actually tear teams apart. But other times it could have gone either way quite easily. But they keep ending up on the right side of things, which is obviously a good trait. And I think eventually the opportunities they get sort of outweigh the ones they concede, don't they? Yeah,
let's hope we see a repeat of that this afternoon. I believe we can actually head down to West London now, where we've got Tony Cotty, who is in position at Loftus Road for us. Can you hear us, Tony? And what are you expecting today? Another Leicester City victory, hopefully?
Yeah, good afternoon, Dan. Afternoon, Tags. Afternoon, Matt. You'll be pleased to know I've just met the most laid-back person in the director's box. Sitting there slouching in his seat, Mr. Andy Impey. Impey, you got it, Matt, didn't you? Before I'd even said it. He sends his regards to you both. So he doesn't change. He doesn't change. But no, really looking forward to the game. It's going to be another great match, I feel, and definitely one that I think we're all expecting Leicester to win. I spoke to a few QPR fans outside, and they're very, very apprehensive. Obviously, been on a poor run of form, QPR. They're worried about the manager's situation, even questioning whether he might be leaving if they were to lose this game, and particularly if they were to lose the game heavily. So a lot of pressure on QPR today. But the one thing I can say, Dan, is, and having played here many times before, it's a very, very tight, proper football ground. There'll be a great atmosphere. And when Leicester come to town nowadays, it's like a cup final for teams. So I'm expecting QPR to raise their game.
Tone, it's Matt here.
Right, Matt.
On the back of that, when you're saying about QPR, do you feel it's sort of like all or nothing today for them a little bit? You think you look at the lineup, they've got a decent number of attacking-minded players in that lineup. A couple of changes. Do you feel that Ainsworth's thinking, right, it's now or never?
Yeah, definitely, Matt. I mean, you know what it's like. You sort of, when you go on these poor run of forms, they've only won 2 games all season so far, sitting in that bottom 3, relegation trouble, and as we know, you just can't afford to get relegated nowadays, whether it's from the Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2. The price for relegation is so heavy, and I think Gareth Ainsworth would have looked at it. After losing at West Brom, obviously a tough place to go, but they desperately need results. It appears, Matt, it looks like he's going to tweak the formation. And I think the player, to keep an eye on is Elias Chair. He's a good player, and if you give him the freedom in that midfield, he can dictate games and create things. So I think it's up to Leicester to impose themselves. I think it is one of them games, Matt, though. I think, you know, QPR might give it a charge up and everything, and as I said, the atmosphere will be good, but I think it's all about what Leicester do today. I know they've made a few changes, you know, put a few of the boys on the bench and that, but if Leicester turn up today, there should only be one winner.
Tone, it's Tags here.
Right, Tags.
I'm just wondering, you've seen Andy Impey in the director's box. Does that mean there's a little inkling that he might throw his name in the hat if the inevitable happens?
Can you imagine Imps as manager, Tags? It would be the most laid-back management staff you've ever seen. Honestly, he's sitting in front of me and he's just leaning up against the side of the director's box, Tags. He just hasn't moved. He's sitting there on his own. He's got all the time in the world and he doesn't change. But yeah, he's a great lad, isn't he, Imps?
So that's a no then, Tone?
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, I see Mick McCarthy he was in the press lounge, and Mick quite straight away said to me, he said, I'm not here to get the QPR job. He said, I might be linked with it. He said, but I'm working for another radio company. He said, you know, I'm not here. So there's a lot of speculation, Tags, that, you know, I think everyone's sort of fearing the worst for Gareth Ainsworth at the moment. But, you know, as we know, you can lose a game of football, but you can also see whether your players are trying for you, whether they're putting the effort in. And I think from a QPR point of view, that will be the vital thing. But as I say, this is a very, very good Leicester team, as we know, and they're playing full of confidence. And if QPR were to get beat, I think there might be a change, but I can guarantee that Andy Impey will not be the QPR manager the next one.
Heard it here first. Thank you very much, Tony. We'll hear from you again in around about half an hour or so. You're on co-commentary duty for us, hopefully, for another Leicester victory and a QPR defeat, of course. Let's hear now from the Leicester City manager then, Enzo Maresca, who has spearheaded this fantastic start to the Championship season. He's been asked, though, if it's difficult to develop his team and keep them grounded when they keep winning all these games.
No, but for me it's quite simple, quite easy. We continue to push because we didn't. We are winning game, but probably tomorrow we are going to lose, and nothing changed. We need to continue our path, the way we want to play, the way we want them to improve. Because as I said many times, for me, this is my personal opinion, the only way to improve a team is to improve players. If you improve the players, then because they are in the team, we can improve the team. So we need to be focused how we can improve them. And in the same time, we are happy, as I said, but it's more for the fans, it's more for the players. But we need to be focused because we need to continue to improve, because this is, you cannot drop a little bit, otherwise the opponent, they are there waiting for us.
Can I ask you about James Justin? You spoke really highly about him earlier in the season when actually he wasn't playing that much, and then he's come in, been a regular part of the squad since Callum Doyle's injury. He got his first goal since a bad injury on Tuesday. How impressed have you been with how he's been able to come in and fill that role, and actually how important is it that you have those players that can not be playing too regularly and just be ready to slot in like he has done?
No, first of all, I have to say that JJ he got some minutes even before Callum was injured, because I think Southampton away, he played from the start, and Callum also. After with the Callum injury, he had more chances. But I said the other day, the first time I came to the training ground in June, probably, everyone was in holiday. JJ was running around the pitch, and I said, "Who is this guy?" And they said to me, "It's James Justin." And in this moment, you can realize something very important, that yes, you have to be a good player, but at the same time, you have to be professional and you have to be patient for your job. And if a guy is here during the holiday running around the pitch, it's because he has passion. And this is the most important thing.
QPR tomorrow, what kind of a test are you expecting from them? Because clearly they're not having the best of it at the moment, but what kind of a test are you expecting?
Yeah, but it's a tricky game. Probably the perfect game for them. After 5 defeats in a row, Leicester is coming. It's the big game, guys. It's the big game for us, and will be a tough one for sure.
There's a smile there for Enzo Maresca when he says it will be a tough one. And listen, we've had a few messages actually I can see on the bottom of the ticker. You can get involved with the show, of course, using hashtag LCFC. Basically saying, Joe, let's not underestimate QPR.
Yeah.
They've beaten Middlesbrough away this season. they have got some quality players. Elias Chair, they were top of the Championship a year ago.
Yes, that's
literally
right.
a year ago this week.
Yeah, again, you know, and sometimes as a manager, when your team is in such good form and the players may well think that they're going to roll up and steamroll their teams, as a manager, sometimes it can be difficult to come up with the words and you know, to keep the players grounded, to convince them that today is a banana skin game. There's no pressure on QPR, there's pressure on the manager, but realistically, not a lot of people are expecting QPR to get something out of this game. Their home form is dreadful. They haven't, like you say, they've only won a game in this year. They haven't won a game all season. I think they've picked up 1 or 2 draws or something like that. There is the best they can do. They've only scored 9 goals, Dan, all season, compared to Leicester's 27. That's 3 times as more. So you've got to think that Leicester obviously are going to get on the score sheet, but it's down to Enzo and his coaching staff to convince the players that they're going into a really tough game, which it will be. You know, you mentioned the stadium, the ground itself. It's on top of you. It's compact. It's a good atmosphere there. The fans will obviously get behind their players from the off, and then it's down to Leicester to try and break that.
Yeah, and I think as Leicester players, you can't be guilty of falling into the trap of assuming anything. You know, you put the hard yards in, put the hard work in, and then your style of play, your better quality, better depth, etc. You know, the classier outfit, quite frankly, eventually, more often than not, will be successful. But on any given day, things can occur, don't they? And QPR, as I mentioned, they're a wounded animal, to say the very least, aren't they? But it depends how much fight they've got left in them, really. Personally, you feel that any sort of reprieve or change or surprise result today would be sort of delaying the inevitable, maybe at some stage. It seems that sort of mentality at the club. I think people are wanting something to change, and then they can go from there. But I think however hard or big an effort QPR put in today, I think ultimately Leicester will prevail if they're anywhere near what we've seen of late. And I don't think the standards that Maresca sets will allow any less than that, really.
I think also what's in Enzo Maresca's favour as well is, and what he's done throughout this season, he's made multiple changes to teams, and it hasn't made any difference. So the competition for places remains fierce as far as Leicester City is concerned. So if you get a starting jersey, you have to make sure that you're going out there and making sure that mentally you're prepared properly to go out and take part in what could potentially become a really tough game for Leicester. But because he's got that competition, players are constantly looking over their shoulder at the bench and thinking, well, if I don't perform today, I'm off and somebody else is on it, and if they get the shirt, they may well keep it. So that's a really good thing that Enzo has going.
And it's also done in a quite subtle way as well, because I mean, a few instances of that in the lineup today, like Fass. It's probably a little bit of a rest, give him a little bit of a break. He's had a lot of games, etc. But it's also, hang on a sec, you remember who you've got behind you, Connor Cody.
Yeah.
You know, every chance Connor Cody will come in and perform to his usual level today. And it's something else to consider. And you've got Vardy, Iheanacho. Yes, it's a bit of element of rotation, but Kelechi not at his best in the week. Oh right, Jamie's starting now, is he? Okay, so I've got to up my game. You know, Ricardo. Yes, it's probably for him. It's trying to sort of manage him a little bit because he gets to know about his injury record, but at the same time, you know, Hamza's put in some stirring performances, hasn't he? At full-back in midfield, etc. So even the likes of Ricardo in the Championship can't rest on his laurels. That's an example of how tough it is.
Well, Jerry has rightly given us the stats on QPR already. Just 7 goals scored this season, only 1 home win in the whole of 2023. And Ian McCulloch from West London Sport says he can't see anything other than an away victory today.
Won once at home in a year. You know, on the Gareth Ainsworth Day, I think if they lose tomorrow, that'll be 12 wins at home, 12 games at home without a win, which will extend the record he's already got as the worst in the club's history. So He's very much on his last legs as manager down there. You know, the fans are, there's a lot of fans aren't going tomorrow just to make a kind of their feelings known. And I mean, if Leicester score early in the game tomorrow, which is, there's a good chance they might, then I think that, it could get quite toxic for him down there. And it's a weird situation because, I said to you off, we started recording that Rangers were top of the Championship last year, and they've just built this, £25 million training ground, and the kind of club was moving in the right direction. And since Ainsworth was appointed, it's gone completely backwards because the way he wants to play is very alien to how the team have played under previous managers in the last 3 or 4 years. If it's 2 or 3 down at half time, it will get very toxic. It will be, it could get nasty. Which is a shame. It's a shame because, the club looked like it was going in the right direction, this time last year, and now it looks like it's heading to. As it stands at the moment, there'll be a League One team next year unless there's a change made soon. Because the problem is now, if they get beat on Saturday and other teams above them win, they're sort of 6 points adrift already. So, it's early in the season, but you wouldn't want to be sort of 9 points adrift going into sort of the Christmas period.
Thanks to Ian McCulloch there from West London Sport. I did try and get some form of positivity in from a QPR point of view, but it was pretty difficult, and you can't blame Ian for that because that's just the way it is at the moment, Jerry.
Yeah, and again, important for Leicester to make sure that toxicity continues, which is, I know it's sad, but you can't concern yourself a lot as far as Leicester City are concerned. And as you can see from his interview, nothing at all on a positive note to bring to that interview. So important for Leicester to make sure that they gain a grip on that toxicity and keep it and let it flourish today. And the only way you do that is obviously by going out and playing well.
Interesting that he said that a lot of fans are deciding just not to turn up today.
Yeah. Sad state of affairs that is, isn't it, really, for a club? The history and sort of size of QPR as well. It's always a little bit of a battle for them, isn't it? One of the smaller clubs in London, but still, plenty of history, as I mentioned, through the years. It's been tough going, hasn't it, for quite a while now. Been in the doldrums one way or another, and it doesn't look to be improving anytime soon. Like I mentioned before, I think, as best you can, the players, or Gareth Ainsworth, the manager, has made a selection today to think, right, okay, we're going to have a bit of a go, but more often than not, we play against a side of better quality. You huff and puff a little bit, and ultimately things go against you. But I think it just has a feel, doesn't it? How everyone's talking from different areas, that time for change is going to happen. It's inevitable. It's just a matter of when. And so you almost think like, I might as well get it over with and start the rebuild. But I don't know. We'll see. It's football at the end of the day, anything like that. But Leicester have just got to be ruthless. Be ruthless, professional. It should be there, shouldn't it?
They can't concern themselves with what's going on at QPR. But seeing as we're talking about them, we can. And what does the manager say to the players today? And what's his team talk? Gareth Ainsworth's team talk today. He knows he's under pressure. Everybody knows within the football club and that he's under pressure. So how does he motivate his players today to go out and try and get a result against a team who are absolutely flying? That must be really hard and really difficult. So,
interesting to see this on that point. Whether they all or nothing, whether they go for it.
Yeah.
Are they going to go for it?
What's he got left in the tank?
Attacking talent there, yeah.
It must be taking its toll on him as a manager, as an individual.
Yeah. I mean, he'll say it doesn't, but it will. But as a team, if they sit there and just sit back, they're at home, and it's just that just sort of brings negativity straight away, doesn't it? So I think might see quite an open game. Who knows? Maybe wrong, but
maybe. Well, we're just over 15 minutes or so until kickoff down at Loftus Road. As ever, the game is available to you on Fox's Hub. Matchday Live here can bring you the full game if you are in certain territories. I think pretty much anywhere but the UK can watch the game today. So you can get your Game Pass on lcfc.com/Fox's Hub. If you are in the UK and you do want to follow all the action, as ever, you can do here on Matchday Live. You can listen to full commentary with Tyler Morris and Tony Cotty on co-commentary duty. You can get your live pass. There's a monthly one available for you on lcfc.com/Fox's Hub. Let's do a quick recap of today's team news then. From a Leicester City point of view, Enzo Maresca has made 3 changes. It's Hermansen in goal, Justin Vestergaard, Cody and Chowdhury across the back 4. Chowdhury and Cody, of course, coming in. Winks, Dewsbury Hall and Cassidy in midfield. Mavididi and Fatawu either side of Jamie Vardy, who is that 3rd change. QPR, very quickly we can run through their team as well for you. They've got Begovic in goal, Parle, Field and Kakai across the back 3. Adoma and Cannon, the 2 wing backs, with Dozzell, Colback, Chair and Kelman in behind Lyndon Dykes. Let's hear now from one of the Leicester City players down at Loftus Road. He's caught up with our commentator today, Tyler Morris. It is indeed Steffi Mavididi.
After a win against Swansea and against Sunderland since the return of the international break, how motivated are the camp to make it 3 wins from 3 here this afternoon?
No, obviously the motivation's there, the desire's there, and we just take it game by game. So we're not really looking at how many games in a row we can win, we just take it game by game. Obviously after this game we'll attack the next game. So yeah, we're really motivated and we want to continue this form that we've got going.
And we're coming up against a struggling QPR side. What do you expect from them this afternoon?
I expect them, well, we expect them, like the gaffer said inside, to give it their all. They've been unsuccessful in previous matches, so we feel like they're going to give it their all and come at us really fast. So it's up to us to start the game well and manage it.
And how about the atmosphere here? We're coming to an old school ground where the fans are so close to the pitch. How are you expecting to deal with that?
Yeah, no, it'll be a tough game. Obviously, like I said, we've got to manage the game and play to our strengths and play to the game plan, and hopefully we can get the 3 points.
That was Steffi Mavididi there speaking to our man Tyler Morris. Big game again for him, Jerry, for Fatawu either side of Jamie Vardy. We know how much trouble they can cause against the side, obviously, towards the bottom of the table.
Yeah, they're key players and they've been in really good form, in my opinion, of late. We've seen it in the last away game against Swansea, not only attacking wise but defensively. Both of them work really hard to get back and help the full-backs out. But going forward, they're both outlets. They both wide players get Leicester up the pitch. Whether that's running with the ball, whether that's taking defenders on 1v1s, and then when they get possession of the ball, helping create those underlapping runs that we've seen so much from Dewsbury Hall on one side, Cassidy or Ndidi on the other side. So yeah, vital players.
Just finally, Matt, only 2 sides in the whole of the division have conceded more than QPR. So hopefully, all signs are pointing towards a Leicester win on the road today. But as we've already said, nothing can be taken for granted.
No, far from it. Don't assume anything. You ensure by your own professionalism and how you perform as a group, individually, dictate matters themselves. Grab hold of the game by the scruff of the neck, like Leicester are capable of, and to be honest, I fully expect them to as well. They can hurt QPR from so many angles, can't they? So many quarters, really. So, yeah, like most people, expecting Leicester to prevail when all is said and done.
Hopefully so. At Leicester City and Enzo Maresca looking to make it 13 wins from their opening 14 games. Obviously no team has ever done that in the Championship before. Stay with us here on Matchday Live to find out if they can do so. Here's a little video explainer of what is available to you, whether that's to listen or to watch this afternoon.
If you are watching on lcfc.com, just sit back and relax. If you are watching on social media, the live stream will finish shortly. If you want to continue enjoying our coverage, you'll need to head over to lcfc.com/Foxes Hub and purchase one of our game passes. If you are watching in a territory where the game isn't live on TV, you'll be able to watch a live video stream on Foxes Hub. Please visit lcfc.com/territories to check. If you can't find your location, live audio commentary is still available. You'll need to have an lcfc.com account before you purchase your Game Pass. If you already have one, please sign in and select your product at lcfc.com/Foxes Hub. Select the Buy button and you'll be taken to the payment page. Once you've followed the simple payment steps, press Continue at the bottom of the screen and you'll be taken to the Foxes Hub homepage. If you purchased a video pass, please select Watch Live from the Foxes Hub drop-down menu. If you purchased a Listen Live pass, please select Listen Live. If you purchased a seasonal or monthly video pass and the game is not being shown in your territory, please select Listen Live. If you are having a payment or technical issue, please email Leicester TV Support at streamamg.com.